people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear in the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection. A quick one for you. And the last time I said that, somebody came up to me and said, man, you little bias. Erection is a man thing, what happened to the women? So I got a woman thing for you. And hear me, from the moment she slime up till you get caught up, we gonna take care of you. Thank you, thank you.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su.
A pleasant good evening to everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Over to You, a show for the people, by the people, on this day, Saturday, the 6th of September, 2025. Welcome and good evening, everyone. Good evening to all those on the ground in Guyana, the wider Caribbean, North America, Europe, France, as well as Europe also. Good evening to all of you and welcome to the program this evening. Lots to discuss. I want you guys to settle in, make yourself comfortable, grab your water, grab whatever you want to grab. I'm going to give you a heads up right away before I even get started that this evening's show is going to go for approximately 2 hours. I'm going to try to get 2 hours in this evening. So you guys can sit down and we're going to have a discourse. It's going to be a back and forth. You guys are going to be involved. You know, in this program, the audience is always involved, right? That's why it's called Over to You, a show for the people, by the people. It's your show. Before I even get too deep into the program, I just want to ask you guys to do a quick exercise with me. Because as I would have told you guys from the get-go of this program, you are the guys, you are the people who determine if this program continues or does not continue. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you to just get into the comments and tell me whether you feel this program should continue or not, so that I know where we stand. Okay, so please help me out and use the comments to tell me if you believe that this broadcast is important to you and should continue. In the meantime, in the interim, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do today's roll call. So let me get started with that while you guys tell me whether you feel that this program whether this program should continue or not. Okay, we're going to start at the top here with the Honorable Mr. Victor Ben. A pleasant good evening to you, and thank you for joining over to you. Thank you for all your contributions, sir. My good friend, Mr. Carlisle Madu, thank you, sir. Of course, always joining, always present here. Aileen Norton, also always present here. Thank you. Miss Mary Figueroa from Canada. It's great to see you. Thank you for joining. Rosemary Martindale Brackett, good to see you. Thank you. You're always here too. Lorraine Beat, same thing. Always here. Yvette Andrade, thank you for joining. You're always here. Miss Darkus John, oh yes. How could I miss your name? You're always here. Yvette Johnson, Yonette Johnson, same thing. Abda Monroe, yes, same thing. Desiree Smart Felix from Canada. She is always in the audience here and always contributing. Great to see you, Miss Smart Felix. Miss Audrey Brown, omnipresent. Great to see you. Joycelyn Alma Cosbort, good to see you. Matthew Dennison, Harlem in the house. Yes, good to see you, sir. Miss Shondell Griffith, always here. My good friend, great to see you. Angelique Abrams, great to see you. Carmen Thomas, great to see you. Miss Ann Kitt, good to see you. Miss Lorna Carr, yes, Barbie's in the house. Good to see you, Miss Lorna. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Golly God, my brother, yes. He's always here encouraging everyone to share the life. Sandra Brotherson, always here. Olympia Williams, good to see you. Robert London, great to see you. Marlon Charles, good to see you. The Honorable William Bill Cato, it's always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you for your contributions on this program. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Rihanna Mingo, good evening. Rita Clark, good evening. Miss Clark, thank you for all your contribution. Alice Ned, good evening. Paula Jones, good evening. Welcome to the program. Donna Dawn, good evening. Shanette Alicia, good evening. Welcome to the program. Teresa Azor Hazel, welcome. Welcome. Lawrence James, welcome. Welcome, everyone. If I didn't get your name, I'm so sorry, Marlon Charles. I see you. Eula David Cummins, good to see you. Colette Bailey, good to see you too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dig in. Okay, well, the 2025 general and regional elections was conducted on Monday, September 1st. Okay? It was conducted on Monday, September 1st. I have not gotten a ruling from GCOM calling the elections as yet. I don't know if you guys heard anything that, maybe I didn't see it, but I don't believe that the election has been called as yet. All right, I'm looking at your comments. All right. Everybody believes that the program should continue. I don't see anybody that says no. Everybody agrees that this program should continue. Well, your answers doesn't surprise me. It's your program. You get to determine. So if it's you who are determining, I know that you guys are going to decide that the program is going to continue. Well, hey, you guys control the narrative, then the program continues. That's the answer. I can't say anything else. The program continues. Thank you for your response, everybody. Mr. Ernest Elliott, a pleasant good evening to you. Kwesi Moffat, good evening. Mr. Jamal Aziz, Ingrid King, Rose Cook. All right. I try to make sure. Charlene A. Moses, I try to make sure that I don't miss anyone. I don't like missing anyone. Robert London, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Leanne Destiny, Pamela Thomas, Marley Harris. Good evening to you all. If I miss you, I'm so very sorry. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And you know what? Before I even get into anything, I must say something. To see all of you guys present here this evening, after basically being robbed on Monday. You know, I'm so emotional right now. It's Jim to me. And it paints a picture to the general opposition out there that these people are ready to fight. They are ready to fight for their rights. Okay? It shows that you guys are not satisfied. It shows that you guys are not willing to just lay down and have people walk all over you. So this demonstration here is an excellent demonstration of willpower. And I'm loving it. And I stand in a line with you guys. Okay? Okay, Victor Ben is answering so far no, but there is an open invitation to the swearing in of the president at State House tomorrow being the 7th of September. Okay. Alice Net said, I vex. Alice, I can't argue with you. I can't argue with you. All right? I can't argue with you. On this program this evening, from the side of the opposition, we are going to absolutely not throw anybody under the bus. I want to be upfront. Because I believe, and I hope that you guys agree with me, I believe that the narrative needs to change. We need to have a shift in the narrative when it comes to the way we behave on the side of the opposition. Okay, so I'm going to start it right here this afternoon on over to you with you guys. All right, we're going to start, you know, really tightening up on things from the get-go. Because I believe that when you sit in opposition, although this election haven't been called, right? But when you have a list that look like the list that we currently have, and the PPP is sitting in government, it is safe to assume, ladies and gentlemen, how this election is going to be called. Okay? All right. So we are assuming that the election is going to be called favorable to the PPPC. All right. So we sit in opposition. We sit in opposition. When you sit in opposition, there's work to be done. When you sit in opposition, there's work to be done. When should that work commence? Immediately. Immediately. Not next week, not the following week. Oh, we need a break. We need this, we need that. Okay. Let's go back and kind of put everything in perspective, right? We're going to start from the biannual congresses of last year. Let's just start there. Let's just take a start from there. When the biannual congresses was called for the PNC, all right, there's a lot of history, and I know that you guys know the history there, where there was a lot of competitions, there was a lot of people at other people's throat, and a lot of different things. It was so unprofessional, right? It was so unprofessional how things were done there. All right, nothing could stay in house. Everything was just leaking out. All right, and there was a fight for leadership. When the smoke would have cleared, Aubrey C. Norton would have convincingly won, okay, and would have took the position as leader of the opposition. Now, once that would have occurred, we on this program, you, the listening and viewing audience, coalescing negotiations to commence immediately, right? I'm sure you guys can remember this as I chronicle it here now. We would have called for them to start working on coalescing. The AFC would have came forward, said not at this time, the people and carry, which I found to be totally ridiculous. Okay? Because I'm going to move forward a bit. The WSPA would have agreed to join the APNU very, very, very early. Dr. Hines and his team would have agreed to join the APNU. And Comrade Norton would have given the WPA the latitude to go out and hold meetings as the WPA under the APNU banner. So therefore, no loss of identity with the party. Okay? There was no infringement upon their work and the scope of work that they would have wanted to do. No infringement whatsoever. So what that demonstrates is that the whole talk about grounding was just a bundle of nonsense. Okay? You do not need to negotiate because you want it to ground. Anyhow, we start from July and we went all the way to around November. We started continually appealing. We went into December. We went into January. And I think it's around then, January, they started to get serious with these negotiations. Okay? But as we see, proposals after proposals were made. And they were consistently the optics of the rejections and the back and forth. And it really started to get under the skins of the voters. It really did, because I saw it in comments where they were irate, they were upset. Okay, moving forward, we're talking about the APNU here, the hurdles that they would have faced. And I may not get to touch on every single one of them, but I'm trying to, gather the significant ones. In the end, they were not able to garner a deal, right? They ended up going their separate ways. All right, it wasn't for the APNU then, as yet. It continued with the mass exodus of high-level members. Now, when I look at the exodus of Siram and Gitter and all of these people, that was treasonous. Because they sat there, Mr. Norton conducted meetings. They would have listened and would have gotten all the information on the strategy and plans of the party. So understand this. When they would have left the APNU and went to their new homes, they took all that intelligence with them. Okay? They took all the intelligence with them. Their brain was not white of the plans of Aubrey C. Norton and his team. They took it with them. Colin Singh, you come on here and you say tomorrow is the funeral for APNU. Well, man, I'm telling you, you're going to see something completely different. Okay? It's not going to be like long term. I'm telling you. I'm going to get there eventually. You can stay on the live, Colin Singh. Stay right there because I want you to hear. I want you to take back my messages. All right. We continue. These individuals would have left the party. They would have taken all the intelligence with them. All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the optics there doesn't look good for the general voters, not for normal, loyal PNC APNU voters. Not for them, because they're going to vote for their party anyway. But for the general voters, right? Want to lead, if you want to be in government, okay, you have to be organized. You must have a strong quorum. There is a fundamental issue within the PNC, starting in the PNC and expanding out to APNU. Let's compare them to the PPP, for example. There's none of those ministers. There is no minister, let me just put it that way, in the PPP that has the spine, okay, to challenge Barry Jagdeo. None. Nobody. Tell me when you've seen one of the ministers challenge Barry Jagdeo. No. It is not within their ideology. Okay? You don't challenge Barry Jagdeo. Pivot over to the side of the APNU. Guys, we got to have some respect. I have said it before. If you don't like the person in the position, do me a favor and respect the position. If you want to say something, have a personal meeting. Case in point. And look, this is not to put anybody down. These leaders must have communications. They must reach out to each other. If you want to volunteer to do something in the party, don't be shy. Don't let your ego get the better of you. Reach out and say, hey, Mr. Norton, this is so. Man, let me know what you want me to assist with, within the APNU. I'm here to help. I'm going to just touch on something quickly. The Honorable Mr. Winston Jordan, former finance minister. I'm not going to hit down Mr. Jordan because it is somebody who I respect and who I like. Okay? I believe that he's a financial genius. Okay? Me being a public accountant, I believe that Mr. Jordan is a genius. We've done one program together and I really enjoy the time with him. What I'm going to say is that the conversation, right, or what was said in public by Mr. Jordan, it was a timing. That's number one. Number two, I would have liked that conversation to start off on a personal level. A phone call from Mr. Jordan to Comrade Norton, and the two of them having a discourse in relation to Mr. Jordan's thoughts and his opinion. I am so fine with that. It is professional. It keeps everything out of the limelight. There is no damage done. Okay? There is no damage done. So I hope that many in the opposition is listening in. Because whenever people have a grievance, you don't hear it from them directly. You hear it from somewhere else out there. And why is this? Why is it that we can't keep party matters internal? We are representing we're representing constituencies. We are representing voters, and we have to be professional, man. We have to be. I continue. The results derived from these elections is disappointing. It's disappointing, but I don't know how disappointing I want to be, how disappointed I want to be in the results. And I'll tell you guys why. I will tell you that list. You see Rhonda Lane? I love Rhonda Lane, man. It's not the first time I'm saying it. She's a true Guyanese patriot. She was right. Her approach was absolutely correct. The movement that herself and Kidaki Amsterdam and a few others would have started was the correct movement. All right. Had we had a new voters list, I assure you, the results would not have looked the way that they're currently looking. All right. We have failed. The APNU has failed to address the issue of the voters list. Many may want to say, well, okay, they call on GCOM. No, here. We are starting another cycle now. Okay? The approach has to be different. The approach absolutely have to be different. Okay? You cannot talk. The PPP is not willing to negotiate anything. Now, the APNU had some 46, 47,000 who would have voted for them in Region 4. You need to rally those people. And if possible, look, I'm going, DRC could write me. When you talk about your democratic right, okay, you must be allowed your democratic right. You must be allowed to vote in free and fair elections. If that is not occurring, the masses has a right to address that. You cannot allow the PPP to continue to use that bloated year after year. I mean, elections after elections. Look, if you allow these guys to use that same list, the results are going to always be the same. I promise you. I promise you. The results are going to always be the same. It will not change, no matter what. A new voters list is required. The process of a new voters list needs to commence like yesterday. Biometrics is a necessity. It is needed, absolutely needed. Okay? It is needed. This opposition has to get serious. If nurses and all these people from Bangladesh all over the place, then we have a lot of lands that need to farm. Then we need to allow people from the ravaged nation of Haiti to come into Guyana and give them opportunities to farm. Okay? Not because the born in migrating and coming out to the US. You're going to replace them. That basically looks the same way. That they understand what is happening. They need to start showing that they understand what is happening. They have to enough nonsense. People once he's sworn in, because they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Mr. Dutton and his team, okay, they need to be out there, need to write to GCOM, and they need the process registration to start with immediate effect. Everyone about elections and elections and elections. Sometimes I want to say, what elections? With what? Some call and say, when are you doing the doors? I'm like, don't waste my time. What number? What numbers? Is there any legitimacy to the numbers? Don't waste my time. I don't waste with that. Then you never said so number with your numbers. That's one thing I don't do. I don't make up numbers. You can't make up numbers. You need real numbers to work with. That's the other thing with the APNU. The party needs to become a little bit more open. I need to see more activity. I need to see more from Christopher Jones. I need to see him push more to the front. I want to see Eden Corbin. I want to see young Bear Ball. Annette Ferguson, where are you? I need to see you. Nima Flubest, thank you. Great job. Christopher Jones also during the campaign season. Excellent work. Look, I'll tell you guys something. I'll tell you guys, this is where we keep it real. Right here and over to you. The best manifesto on display by far was that of the APNU. By miles. The most talented team on stage was that of the APNU. Again, by miles. By leaps and bounds. So that's not the issue. That is not the issue. The PNC, and by extension, the APNU, they need some strong negotiators who are able to go out there and talk to people. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you something here. The amount of beatings that the leader of the opposition, and sometimes by extension the party, would have taken on social media. Listen, I have been on here for a little bit now. I have never called Mr. Norton and demanded anything from him. We may have spoken maybe 2 times, if that much, and never no demands. If he ever needs my expertise, he's always free to reach out to me, and he knows that. If I need him on my program, there's a few times that I use people to call him and tell him, hey, I need you to come on. And he replied and he said to them, Why is Wayne asking you to call me when he can call me himself? So there's nothing there. We are good. But the abuse that was meted out comes from the fact that there is no connection. People want to connect. People want to get their points across. Not everyone is like myself. I use the program. I use this program where we are all here and we get our points across right here. There are some who likes to be recognized also. That doesn't matter to me. I am here to work for the people. Once you guys are here and we are doing this program together, I'm already recognized. There's nothing else that needs to be done. Okay? Nothing else. For this next 5 years, and I'm talking to all the social media presenters, all of them. Pick a side and pick a side early. I'm not asking you not to be objective. I'm not asking you not to be objective. Because whenever I have to, I am objective. I'm not asking you not to be objective. But what I'm asking you is to understand the fight. Okay? You can't have somebody already set up as your candidate and you're lashing your candidate and bashing your candidate at the 24th hour. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. So the fact that the APNU didn't do well, it doesn't surprise me. It was just too many hurdles. Ruth Moni Johnson. We don't need the Haitian farmers in Guyana. We have our own farmers. Of course, you wouldn't need the Haitian farmers in Guyana because they look like this. They look like this. Well, it's just so the Guyanese people don't need the Bangladeshi nurses in Guyana because we have nursing schools in Brooklyn, in Linden that the PPP closed down. Right? You see that? You see how you guys are thinking? You see how you guys are thinking? You guys are thinking that this is a one-way street. Well, what I'm doing, I'm countering you. You are saying that Guyana needs nurses. You understand me? Which in Guyana does not need nurses. You guys closed down the nursing schools, right? Closed down the nursing schools. And who mostly is nurses in Guyana? African Guyanese. But you see, you guys are doing this ethnic cleansing and you're slick about it. Listen, I'm not holding back this afternoon. Oh, I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back. And you men in Guyana, African Guyanese gentlemen in Guyana, you guys look like if you give up. You forget the work of our ancestors. You've given up. Many of you just sit down at the Guinness bar and you just drink. And you wait for a party that would come and pay you for your vote. Shameful. Disgraceful. You have children? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to your children? Is that the fate that you want for your children? Simple question. But you guys like to get mad. You like to get angry when people talk. Look at you. Look at you. Linden. Oh, it's going to be live right here. You all listen to this one. Linden. An African Guyanese male quoted as saying, y'all going to see what I'm made of. Look. I deliver Linden. Deliver Linden to who? Deliver Linden to who? Examine yourself. Think logically. Deliver them to who? To who? You look at that as an achievement? You look at that as an achievement? Shame on you guys, man. You guys ain't ready yet. You guys ain't ready yet. What you guys do, you totally undermine leaders that look like yourself to go and support others who don't look like you. I'm not telling you don't support somebody that looks like you, but what you do, you undermine the people that look like you. That's what you do. You only have mouth for them. Anything bad you have or derogatory you have to say is about a leader that looks like you. We're going to call it as we see it. We're going to call it as we see it. You know, I spoke with a few people today before coming on. Because, guys, I've been not very pleased over the last couple of days. Not because that the APNU did not come out victorious, guys. But it's the manner in how the elections were conducted. Now, all the observer groups, the OAS, the European Union, the Carter Center, they all talk about how the PPP would have abused state resources, how they would have taken NCN for themselves. No, the fees for NCN should not be paid by government. It should be paid directly from a PPP account. The party should be paying the fees for NCN because only the PPP had the use of NCN, which is a state asset. It's a state resource. These are the things that the opposition has allowed. These are the things that are wrong. And again, I'm going to say it again. I am not here to throw anybody under the bus. But if it is that Comrade Norton is going to continue to sit there as the opposition leader, boy, the execution needs to change. The execution needs to change. And if he doesn't have the right support team around him, he needs to get rid of people and get the correct support team around him. Because you cannot just keep giving excuses. It just can't be excuse after excuse. They should have taken their time on NCN, which I think they probably had about 45%, based on how Parliament was set up the last time through. Well, of course, it's going to be different now. It's going to be completely different now. The Natural Resource Fund Board, not a single person from the opposition was on that. You are basically giving away everything. And you know that you were dealing with a non-compliant government. The PPP is not compliant. The observers came and they left their notes again. That is a license for the opposition to act. Just based on what they would have said, the observers. That there is a lot more that needs to be done in order to get the voting process correct, the counting process correct. The list could never be correct. I have called so long ago, I have called for, you don't just protest GCOM. You got to protest the court. Get Roxanne George to move. Enough of that. Nobody cares about Roxanne George. How could you have dead people on a list? Make some sense. Make some sense. Find a way to get those people off the list. They are no longer alive. How are they going to participate in elections? How could you say that you can't remove them? What kind of nonsense is that? There need to be a house-to-house registration done ASAP. Everybody just sat there and just allow the PPP to do whatever it is that the PPP want to do. Bangladeshi nurses in Guyana, free housing, $1,500 a month salary, 1,500 US a month salary, free food, everything free. And look at our nurses in Guyana. Look at our teachers in Guyana. What's happening? And then people went out and vote for this same government. Well, brothers and sisters, we're going to work hard this time through. All right? We have some 53% of Guyanese that is living under some measure of poverty. We're going to see how that improves. Right? We're going to use the APNU manifesto over and over here. We're going to see how many people are going to get house lots. Oh, yeah. Right? This we call holding government accountable. Here. If these things that are promised in this manifesto that the PPP has is not coming to pass, you shut the country down. Shut it down. You just can't continue to have people just taking from you all the time. You shut the country down. Why continue to deal with such nonsense? Why continue to deal with such nonsense? The elections weren't free and fair. Look, you guys, look how this president that's about to be reinstalled, this is another reinstallment. Okay? This is another reinstallment. Look how he dealt with the media, specifically Travis Chase. Look at his behavior. Look at the words that came from his mouth. When he can't even pronounce the word cervical. He has a problem with words. Oh, but he didn't have a problem with words to answer Travis Chase the way he is. When Travis Chase said, Mr. Ali, he said, that's president for you. The fool did not understand that he was not even sworn in as yet. And boasting and going on. You have the Guyanese critic threatening people. Shameful. Shameful. Look what happened to Brian Max on set. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be very, very cautious in what I say here. I didn't see votes there for Adriana Young. I don't know if the people that vote for Adriana Young. But right now, I'll tell you guys this. I'm being honest. I'm not optimistic about the murder of that child being solved. There's nothing that shows me that I should be optimistic about the murder of that child being solved. I'm not calling that just a murder anymore. I'm calling that a murder mystery. I know all of you on this program is smart tonight. I'm gonna end my comments for Adriana Young right there. But I'm saddened to see such a young child like that. Young, innocent child. Her life was just snuffed out at age 11. Okay? I don't hear a whole lot about her anymore. I don't hear a whole lot about her. But whenever I remember her name, I'm going to call her name. And that's just to the child. I'm just dealing with the child. I'm not going beyond that. I'll move forward here. I'll check you guys' comments here for a little bit as I take a quick pause. You guys got a load of comments here, man. Pivoting is what we need to see from the opposition. Well, now you have the win opposition. The win has Linden. You may ask Wayne, what are you looking for out of Linden? Well, I'm looking to see the nursing school be reopened, right? Because Wynn said they're going to deliver for the people of Linden. So I'm looking to see development in Linden. I'm looking to see less young men hanging around in Linden, them having work to do, right? Jobs to go to. Looking to see strong job creation in Linden, right? A stronger city council. Maybe more money in the budget, okay, for the mayor's office and these type of things. I'm looking to see that. That's what you call delivering. Right? That's what you call delivering. For the many, the thousands along the East Coast that would have voted for Wynn, remember, Over to You is a show for the people, by the people. It's not a show, though, for people to come on like those few PPP individuals that would have come on and just look to be critical. You know, that's where you have the uneducated coming and trying to have a word. No. On this program, we have intellectuals here. All these people listening here, they're intellectuals. Their comments, it makes sense. They speak of things that we can address. All right, as a nation, Guyana is not an Indian nation. All right, Guyana is a nation of 6 ethnic groups. And the nation must be equitable to all 6 ethnic groups that occupies the landmass. But the PPP would have damaged that fabric tremendously. Again, I would have asked on a previous program. It wasn't Over to You. I think I was on Straight Up. To show me where you can find an African Guyanese owning a mall. Someone called me today and they brought up that same point again. They said, Wayne, I recall hearing you say this thing. And I'm thinking that I'm not going to send down my, when relatives call me every minute for money, I'm not sending down my money to Guyana to invest in this. I'm not sending down my money for my relative to be in Sarwan or Afan Ali's mall. Right? Roy B. Pat, whatever. I'm calling names. I don't care. You guys are just out to use people. You guys are just out to oppress people. All right? That's what you're there to do. All of you guys building out apartment complexes, okay? Fence villages, all these different things, right? While Roxanne George and them in the judiciary, yeah, Roxanne George, you're going to hear my name. I'm not even going to call you honorable because I've gotten upset now. It's beyond me. You're a human being. You ain't nothing special. You hold a seat. I can't respect that seat. You understand me? If you're not performing the duties of that seat. I don't care who you be. I believe in respecting the position, but respecting the position when you're executing. You are not. You take cases and you try to create and navigate around the laws and create your own thing. That's not good enough for me. You, Claudette Singh, and all the bunch of y'all don't understand that 53% of Guyanese is living in poverty. You don't. You don't understand. You don't care about it because you can feed your family. Whatever is the narrative that have you guys behaving this way, somehow or the other, we're going to find out. Somehow or the other, we are going to find out. Whether it's an internal force or external force, we're going to find out. Because one thing I can say and say safely is that the Guyanese people have not followed their wealth to anybody's borders. But if this continues the way it is going, if we continue down the road that we are going down, that's going to happen. Yes, guys, sorry about that. That's going to happen. And you're going to see how the Guyanese people are going to be treated at whichever border they show up to. Guyanese don't have visa-free travel to the United States. They should. They should. Since one of the US's large, I think the US's largest oil company, ExxonMobil, is gaining from Guyana. The government is unable to churn out enough jobs for university graduates. The US needs professionals to work here. Give them a 12-month visa to come and do 12 months of work here, and then you extend it accordingly. They can do work here while they apply back in Guyana. We got to start learning how to be efficient. But you see, look, man, when you got a set of terrorists in government, they ain't got time to look at needs of people. What do they care about the people? We need a quorum. On the side of the APNU, we need a quorum. Okay? We need a quorum. Comrade Norton, Comrade Ford, these guys, Christopher Ram, all of these people need to come together. They know what is happening is wrong. Comrade Lincoln Lewis, I am calling your names. I am calling your names because if you guys come together and you guys form a quorum, putting aside your egos, things can change. Things can change. You are all separated. You are all in different places. We got to stop this. This person not talking to this person, that person not talking to that person. How do you guys want to be in leadership and not talking to each other, but leading the people? You're failing the people. You're not leading them. You're failing them when you're not talking to each other. The social media presenters to the APNU, you were denied anytime on NCN. You were denied on any state-owned stations or any PPP platforms. You were denied time there. What do you do to counter that? There's a station right here, 107.1 FM. You guys didn't show up a fraction as much as you should have. You have a lot of other social media activists who have programs. You guys need it. Don't wait for them to invite you. That's what you do. You stand up like if you're on if you're on cloud nine and you wait for somebody to invite you. Don't wait. Invite yourself. Call me, Wayne says, I would like to join you on Over to You this coming Saturday. I would never refuse you. Never. Because it's an opportunity for you to push your ideology as a party. I know that you guys are so much better than the PPP. I know. But you know what would have hurt you? You didn't get enough time to educate your people. You needed more time. When you guys were seeing people running up in the African villages like Victoria and Pleasance and all of these villages, y'all should have been running up right there asking them what they're doing in y'all village. Because you guys, the APNU can't show up in Monterey Post like that. Come on, guys. I hope you guys do not go into this next 5 years with the same thinking and the same ideology. Because nothing will never change. Continue to have functions at Congress Place. You need to raise money. You cannot compete with the PPP from a financial perspective because they are using state assets. And we need to, there needs to be some pivoting, because I know now that the Win Party is going to be the main opposition. But when it comes to the Public Accounts Committee, the APNU have to have proper people sitting there that's going to execute the mandate of the Public Accounts Committee. You guys think with the Win Party being there that things can get better? It can actually get very worse. It can get really worse. It can get worse. This next 5 years, after this 5 years, APNU cannot serve anymore by law. Okay? Be careful. The grooming is already in process. I know you guys are smart and you understand where I'm coming from. The grooming is already in progress of the next person who's going to step in there. And if you're really, really smart and thinking, you know is who I'm talking about. You know exactly is who I'm talking about. We got a lot of wisening up to do. We have a lot of wisening up to do. I look outside the gate, close to the gate there of GCOM, and there was one big tussle and one big fight going on there, attempting to fight each other, the Win Party and the PPP. But what struck me is that when I look, it was only African Guyanese. Everybody else stand afar and watching them. Brothers and sisters that look like me, you got to do way better. You got to do way better. You are divided. And you know what it is called. Divide and rule. You are divided. And some of you are over there to collect what you're collecting because you're in trouble. Okay? You're in trouble and they got records on you. Right? You know yourselves. You know yourselves. You sell out your people. You sell out Guyana. You sell out what is good for Guyana. Yes, because I believe that the APNU is what is good for Guyana. But don't worry. This 5 years here, we're going to see how the PPP, along with the Win Party, will execute on your behalf. If you guys are going to be satisfied with $100,000 cash grant, look, Jagdi already told you guys no cash grant. You guys saw the price of oil, and you guys remember what Ashley Singh and the PPP set as per GDP growth for this year, 11%. Wayne Caesar said 18%. You guys gonna see who is the winner. Okay? They ain't ready yet. They ain't ready yet. I would teach them 10 times over. I would teach them 10 times over. All right? We could get Guyana better and the people of Guyana better at the snap of a finger. The PPP doesn't want to, though. They want to keep you guys begging. They want to keep you guys dependent. You should be trying to make your nation and your people independent, educated at the highest of levels, that they can compete out there in the global economies. Guyana can have a much better showing. We always have to be bringing in exports from other countries. Why can't we send out exports? It's been 5 years now that we've been extracting oil. We don't even have a meter that is reading how many barrels of oil is being pulled, extracted per day. We just go by what Exxon tells us. Imagine that. Imagine that. That is reckless. That is reckless right there. But when you all get into your little small rooms and your offices and you all have your discussions, you know, that is just beneficial to you guys, your family, and your favorites. The people of Guyana never come to mind. Imagine $100,000 is what the people would have received. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 6 years. At the end of the year. Shameful. Shameful. Where are we going as a nation? What is the next 5 years going to look like? Continued growth and riches for the already wealthy? The PPP totally undermined Linden. They had no time with Linden. The city council, they didn't provide enough funds. They didn't fund the city council the way they should. They should have. The same thing in Georgetown. The same thing in New Amsterdam. But yet, the PPP ended up with a decent amount of votes in Linden. I'm not going to knock Guyanese for where they voted, you know. But what I would ask them to do is to examine how much they would have benefited over the next 5 years. I want you to examine what your vote would have done for you over the next 5 years. You have 5 years to do it. And be honest. We all make errors. Be honest. Okay? Be honest. Young professionals, they need homes. Right? When they build the homes, the prices are through the roof. Look at the APNU. Rent to own as part of their manifesto. Encouraging the young men in the street. Remember, The PPP got to understand, those young men in the street, they're in the street because of you guys. You're the guys who took away university and all this stuff. You're the ones. The technical schools are not properly funded. They need to be properly funded. There's not much investment going into the Critchlow Labor College. I guess because of what it stands for. And I guess because of the management team and the color of their skin. They're not funding it the way it should be funded. The churches have never stepped up in Guyana. And I believe that that narrative is going to continue now, that the PPP will be reinstalled again. But I believe, based on what the observers would have had to say, it's a license for the opposition to act. And I hope that they act accordingly, because I'll tell you this, guys, I am cool, I am calm, I await the posture. If I see what I saw for the last 5 years, man, I'm telling you guys up front, I'm not going to be happy. I am not going to be happy. If it's going to be more of the same, then we need to change. Let's be honest. We cannot be, experiencing the same fate over and over and over again. We have to change this thing. We have to change the narrative. We have to change our approach. There must not be any period of layback. You active in the party, you want to someday go to parliament, you have to work to show that you deserve to go to parliament. You're going to have a smaller quorum in parliament. You have to strategize and plan to make sure, although you're a smaller quorum in parliament, you must still come out being the most effective, because you have used your time worthily and effectively in parliament. We have to be serious. And brothers and sisters, you guys are here. This is your program. And you guys see our posture on this program. We are always serious. There is no time to play around. The PPP is not a government to play around with. You see them and you don't shake their hands. I don't want to be friends with you. That should be it. They are non-compliant. They don't engage the opposition. Here, Jagdeo come out and say he would prefer to work with APNU. You guys would take that from a lion swine? It doesn't mean anything that he would have just said there. APNU, you all need to build out your war room, man. You all need to be on top of it all the time. When Jagdeo come on Thursdays and he come and he talk you guys down, you guys make sure that you have a rebuttal on Friday. Don't let social media have to do your rebuttals for you. You guys got to step up. You guys just got to shut up and put up. That's it. I am waiting to see. I am waiting to see if over the next few weeks, not even few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I'll give, to start seeing serious activities serious attorneys working seriously when it comes to a new voters list and GCOM and biometrics. It needs to be done immediately. If we don't talk about this, guys, you know what's going to happen? The next election is going to be coming up upon us, right? And then you're going to start hearing talk of the new list when the people are not going to even budge. It is fresh now. Beat the iron while it's hot. Beat the iron while it's hot. We need a new voters list. We need biometrics, without a doubt. At the same time, you also request the removal of Claudette Singh. I know it may not be possible, but I'm hoping that Claudette Singh just do the right thing and resign. She's a horrible human being, man. All the conferences that was held by GCOM, she never attended one because she knew what she was about to do. Claudette Singh fully and well know that list is overly bloated. We have a list of electorate that is statistically as large as the population of Guyana. We know that that's not right. And then Irfan Ali comes out in his conversation with Travis Chase saying that we have won. They are trying to undermine the process. A process that was rigged by the PPP. It really upset me when I heard Irfan Ali speaking. But I said to myself, what have the APNU done to prevent something like this? Not too much. Not too much. But this is the time. This is the time that we get started now. All right? This is the time. You got to get back on the ground in Region 4. You got to hit the outer regions also. The indigenous regions. I am surprised at the indigenous people. Look, I don't hold back anything on this program. Because they're getting 15% from the carbon credits right now. And I think Mr. Norton offered them 50%. And they vote for the 15%. That's like me saying to Comrade Nigel Hughes, take the deal with Comrade Norton for the 30% stake in APNU and say, look, I'm going to run with this. Look how the AFC did in the elections. Hey, I'm just saying. Right? I'm just saying. A bird in the hand, right, is better than two in the bushes. One in the hand is better than two in the bushes because you got this one already. Take it and do your best. Where we go from here? I know that the WPA will be there. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. What is the AFC going to do? If the AFC going to come back under the APNU banner, there must be absolutely no deals. Because the AFC haven't shown that they have any kind of following. That would have been displayed at this last election. Right? It's no big deal. It's just an agreement for you to come and work under the APNU banner. That's it. Right? And there needs to be a plan in place quickly. That's why it's kind of reckless to come out and make any statement right now about changes in leadership and all this type of stuff, because the elections haven't been called as yet. Right? And there need to be a period where the party repivots and decide what direction it wants to go in. And whatever direction is chosen needs to be a positive direction, a direction that the people of Guyana, that's going to resonate with the people of Guyana. Right? That's going to resonate with the people of Guyana. Again, the APNU cannot challenge the PPP from a financial perspective because, like we've said earlier, state resources is what the PPP would have used. All right? From a social media perspective, APNU have it on lock to a point. And when I say to a point, they need to reach out to some of the social media presenters and try and smoothen out some of the gripes that they have. You can't fight everybody, man. You can't fight everybody, right? They don't have to reach out to me. I don't have a problem, right? They know the people that they need to reach out to, right? When people behave a certain way and it is your party that they want to be a part of, or your party is the party of preference to the person, you need to reach out to them, or you need to have somebody reach out to them. Because when people come on Facebook, you know, and these other apps and lash out at your party, the optics doesn't look good. The optics does not look good. Like we would have seen pictures posted with a leader with cup in his hand and people assuming what's in the cup. And, you know, a lot of different things we have seen over time, right? A lot of things we have seen over time. The APN, you need to have a damage control team, a special team, just for that purpose. And an active war room. It must be active every day, scanning what's happening. And then, of course, you need to have people working on the ground. Don't wait and say, oh, when we're 3 years out, or when we're 2.5 years out, our work is going to commence then. Because I'll ask the question, what were you doing all the time? What were you doing all the time? You guys saw when the PPP started campaigning. The PPP campaigned for nearly 2.5 years. These guys are always in campaign mode. You're going to see them a couple weeks from now. They're going to get into that mode and they're going to start moving. With Barry Jagdeo being the only person that really have a spine to really speak on behalf of the party. Irfan Ali speaks from notes. His speeches are written. Right? He just cannot come out like I'm sitting here and just speak. No. Everything has to be scripted for him. But again, I'll say this. For the period of campaigning that the APNU would have done, and I've watched them, we have been off the program here because we would have given the latitude of time to the party so that they can promote and push the ideology of the APNU forward. So we weren't here on Saturdays. For the most part, we had meetings and rallies. And they were excellent meetings and rallies. The crowds were massive. That's why it's quite a bit concerning to see at the general elections how the party performed. But you cannot get an accurate, you cannot get the statistics accurately because of this list that you have. You can't make up numbers. I'm not going to make up numbers. You cannot make up numbers. We need a proper list. How long is the opposition going to sit down and watch GCOM? This must be done immediately. These people at GCOM does not need to be paid. Why are you paying them? To do what? What is the job of GCOM? To make sure that there is free and fair election. To respect the Constitution of Guyana. Was this last elections free and fair? Absolutely not. You don't have a new voters list. You don't have biometrics. The PPP was non-compliant. They didn't release the census statistics to the Guyanese people. Could you believe that? And they were still able to what they quote unquote call win an election. This election is going to be called for the PPP. But how can you expect me to respect that with a list that looked that way? But yet the PPP supporters, particularly the East Indian supporters of the PPP, they come on and they curse you like you're supposed to honor something that is not accurate. You cannot get me to believe that. I just will not believe that narrative. I hope within the scope of all the strategic planning of the APNU that a new voters list and biometrics is at the top, because I want to say this to them. You are not going to win another elections in Guyana without those two things being in place. So you could say you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing all these different things at Congress Place. You're fighting a losing battle. You are fighting a losing battle. You guys got to go there. There's a lot of work to do now to track down and figure out this electorate. It's a lot of work to do. You got Venezuelans who would have come into the country. You got Bangladeshis in the country. And who else may have come into the country? I understand that they're also either Nigerians or Kenyans or something in the country also that is voting PPP. And these people were just brought into the country. So why not the people from Haiti who is punishing? Why they can't come in and get a little space to do their farming and do their craft and what they do? You're bringing in one type of people. We can see what's happening there. Haiti is a part of CARICOM. Haiti is a CARICOM state. What is it that the Bangladeshis and the Venezuelans are going through that the people of Haiti is not going through? Which situation is worse? You guys are mighty convenient, man. You guys are mighty convenient. Shame on you. Shame on you guys, man. And yet there are some fools who just blindly run behind the PPP. For what? A few contracts to clean trenches? That's how you're going to send your children to school? That's the future you want to build for them? Cleaning trenches? Have to do better, guys. We have to do better. Have to do better as a nation. I'll check your comments. Cheryl Barker said Mr. Norton is quiet. He said that he was not going to accept any rigged elections this time around. What is his recourse? Is quiet as a lamb. We got to speak up. We got to speak up. Look, when you're in a position of leadership, again, I'm not hitting anybody. I'm just saying, when you're in a position of leadership, you got to speak up. I'm not in a position of leadership. I'm a presenter on Over to You. This program that is by the people for the people. And I cannot come out here and just be quiet and don't speak up. My job is to speak up. My job is to speak up and speak out. Ms. Fidel Albert, Aubrey Norton needs to have his attorneys on board to file an injunction and have it served to block him from swearing in as president. Aubrey is too silent on this. Well, Ms. Fidel Albert, too many times we have seen, and Mr. Norton, look, to some extent, I'm not going to hit him with him being silent. It's just that over the years, over the periods, we've seen that nothing has never been done about these issues. And Claudette Singh would have once again sent all the opposition parties to file petitions. These petitions are never, ever, ever done expeditiously. It always takes a very, very, very long time for a petition to go through. So when you send them to petition, basically you're saying the PPP is the government for the next 5 years. You could talk cheese, we don't care. That's that. New Baines said, well, Mr. Norton need to just sit pretty and let Win deliver for the young people that invested in Win. There's nothing wrong with that comment. There's nothing wrong with that comment. You place your vote there, they are supposed to execute on your behalf. Let's see what they do. We said this. Linden was delivered to them on a platter. Linden was delivered on a platter to Win. Let's see what they do. All right. Palawala Pride. African Americans and other minorities boycotting a huge corporation called Target in the United States. Why are we so different? Well. Palawala Pride. Very, very, very good point. Excellent point. People need to start shopping in their villages. You need to start putting equity into your villages. If you were putting equity into your villages, you wouldn't be needing to beg anyone for anything. Our ancestors would have pooled together their monies to purchase some of these villages. Where is the upkeep? Where are the morals? Where's the respect for what they would have went through? Pleasance, Victoria, Buxton, Golden Grove, Nabaklis. Where is that respect? Do you guys still remember them? I think that's a big question. Do you guys still remember them and what they would have done? They would have come together and operated as a quorum where they would have pooled their monies to buy these villages. Keyword, quorum. Okay? APNU, quorum. The unions, Mr. Lincoln Lewis, quorum. All of you guys together Mr. Christopher Ram, everybody, Dr. Hines, everybody, all of you guys, you need to put your brain power together. You know that the PPP is wrong for Guyana. You guys know this. So put your brain power together and let's get to work. Put your brain power together and let's get to work. Mr. Ernest Elliott. Look, Eastman, we had protests every Tuesday in front of GCOM calling for a clean list. Where were you and others? Now all of you talking. Okay, I think Mr. Elliott is responding to someone probably from some other party or somewhere else. While that is true, Mr. Elliott, they did have protests every Tuesday. Miss Rhonda Lane, there's a few other names of individuals that were there also. I have to get their names. You know, I don't want to really miss anyone. Mr. Kedaki Amsterdam was one of the people also, one of the what would I call, one of the founders of this whole Tuesday protest that they were having. And listen, if Miss Rhonda Lane and her team was doing Tuesdays, maybe some other team could have come out on Thursday. Maybe the AFC could have had a team coming out on Wednesday. It would have been consistent. And you just keep hitting until you build up to really have that big one, that massive one. And when you have that massive one, you distribute the crowd to GCOM and the courts. You do it at GCOM and the courts. I believe that the courts have failed the Guyanese people. The judiciary of Guyana, it's not independent. It is not independent. You see who they put there? Navendra Singh. And we sit down and we accept these things. The laws, there are double standards when it comes to laws. Kevin Lorma, where is he? He's walking. Guyanese critic. Basically knock out Brian Max on set. He is walking and talking and threatening people. That's the lawlessness we live in. And they're going to continue to threaten us. You know why? Because more and more of these people are getting guns. Oh, we have a major gun problem in Guyana. Not a minor, a major one. And it's going to get really worse. It's going to get really, really worse, man. And you know what may happen to this government that oppressing people? One of these semi-automatic weapons may actually get into the wrong person's hand. Oh, yes. You guys continue. Continue doing what you're doing. Do everything as normal. The guns that are turning on the citizens now, where you have a whole set of people look at that lady in Mocha. And look at that young man's face that would have executed her. Just look at that. Look at that. And it just go down. That's it. She's just laid to rest. Game over. Forgotten. A la Adriana Young. Laid to rest. Yeah, a few people, you know, they still feel the trauma. They get up and they'll post and they'll call her name, justice for her. You know? But outside of that, it's gone quiet. The two young men in Linden, that's silent. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. Young Peters was not executed by that officer. He was executed. He wasn't murdered. Yes, it's murder, but it was an execution. He wasn't fighting anybody or anything. It was like, I'm going to take your life here. Quidnon Bacchus, executed in a hail of bullets. Attorneys on the side of the opposition. You guys looking for some little work to do in the interim? Can somebody pick up the Lyndon Martyrs case and let those people get paid? My goodness. Can somebody pick up the Quindam Bacchus case, make sure that his family is paid? The Fortuné and the Peters family in Linden? Can somebody do that? There's lots to be done. You don't have to wait until you're in government to execute these things. When people see that you're doing these things, it's a feather in your cap. It shows that we have a working opposition. When they see areas that the PPP is blocking you, they're going to understand, but you have to be transparent and you have to tell the people what is happening. You cannot say, oh, this is an internal issue, that is an internal issue. I know there's going to be private stuff, internal party items that cannot be, dispersed to the public. That's understandable. But when you're working on something that is public, be transparent. Continue to update the people. Continue to come on programs. Talk about housing. Talk about oil. On the night of the counting in Linden, there was blackout. Nothing has really gotten better in Guyana. All you do, you have a bridge billing. That's taxpayers' money. And the loans that were taken out for that bridge has to be paid back. Now you have a natural resource fund that so much money is coming into. Why couldn't you have given that natural resource fund a few years to build out and just take some money from yourself? Take some money from yourself and build your bridge. Instead of going out and borrow from somebody where you have to pay interest on it. Boy, corruption is something, yeah? It's like a dog sucking egg. He can never stop doing it. Corruption is something. We're getting down to closing time. There's a point that I want to make, though. You have a whole lot of U.S. warships there encroaching on Venezuela. I want to ask the question to you guys here. What's different in Venezuela from what is going on in Guyana? What is different in Venezuela from what is actually happening in Guyana? What's the difference? You talk about convenience. Nothing will be done in Guyana because oil is being extracted. A lot is being invested. I feel bad, when Comrade Granger was threatened to give up office. He was threatened and asked to demit office. But yet, we have a murderous, corrupt government. You see, that is what they like. That is exactly what they like, because they get to oppress, suppress the people while they get to exercise and execute their duties, which is to clean the country of its wealth. I was saying to somebody, or I think I put it in a comment, that Guyana is going to get a new voters list if we continue in this manner, probably when all the oil resources and all the natural resources would have dried up and there is nothing else. So sometimes you want to know how it is that some ethnic groups find themselves in a position that they're always playing behind. Well, here, ladies and gentlemen, Guyana is the perfect example. And I could recall when I first started doing programs, I would have said, guys, stay focused on Guyana. We will see exactly how the rich economies of this world operate. We will get, we will see a microcosm of how the world functions. And hey, you guys would have gotten first-hand experience to the extent you are paying attention, right? First-hand experience. Everybody know that this list is no good, right? Everybody know that biometrics is needed, right? But my brothers and sisters, it is the narrative. It is the narrative that having a bloated list serves. It is the bloated list is a means to an end. And it's a means to an end that favors the PPP and by extension favors all the investors investing in Guyana. Because remember, okay, the PPP is a non-compliant entity. They do not engage opposition. All negotiations are internal and confidential. Okay? Oil blocks are sold internally. All right? No proper bidding process. Or they put it out there in the bidding process, right? Or what they want to, or if they want to call it the procurement process. And they already have knowledge because they have shared the information of what the price is going to be and everything. So the person is already in place, knows the price, has the money ready. So as soon as it's put out there, the bid is picked up. All right? I expect to see us act differently this time around. Let me continue to go through your comments. Boy, you guys lit up the comments this afternoon. You guys are on a roll tonight. Look, it's great of you guys to spend this time. We're going to be spending time. I'm going to continue coming here. We're going to have various guests coming on, to speak consistently because we have to be consistent. We have to be vigilant. Look, although the elections is going to be announced to the PPP, Guyana don't belong to the PPP. Do not allow people to walk around the streets, the highways and byways and bully you. Don't. And like I would have said to you guys before, I'm not investing my money, right, into nonsense. All right? Be careful where you shop. Understand where you're shopping. All right? Don't buy what you don't need. Do not sell away your property. Don't sell your land away. Don't sell your home away. Hold on to your homes. You're going to need them. Pay attention to your children. Continue to edify them. Don't stop. Don't stop. Raising children is a continuous process. Do not leave them once you see they become 18. All right? Don't leave them. They can be in their 20s, 21, 22, 23. You still need to speak to them. Right? I have a 23-year-old, two adult sons. One is 23, one is 19. And they love to borrow my cars and go out. And I just tell them, I say, if the police pull you over, the first person you call is me. I will be there quickly to deal with the issue. Okay? You have to take care of your children. Never give up on your children. Okay? I see some people just literally give away their children, man. Right? Let's love our children. Let's love each other. Brothers and sisters, tonight, let's continue to hold each other's hands because we are going to hold this government accountable. All right? We are not going to go away. Remember this, in a boxing match, when you get knocked down, get up back. Don't act like if you get knocked out. And we were not knocked out. Okay, we were not knocked out. All right? Until next Saturday. And guys, don't forget, this coming Monday, okay, is the birthday of the CEO here, Mark Anthony Benchop. So you guys make sure that y'all jump on his page or wherever it is and wish him happy birthday. This coming Monday is his birthday. And while I'm at it here, I just want to really thank Mark, for making this platform available to us to come and do this program every Saturday. I could not have been more thankful to Mr. Mark Anthony Benchop. Until next Saturday, I love you, my brothers and sisters. I love you. I love you. I love you. Over to you. Good night.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They done drive.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, he is a friend of ours.